Hello. This is something new that I picked up. Seems like I'm getting on a chainsaw trend now. I found this on Craigslist for free, actually. It was on for 18 minutes and I called. Wasn't an answer, so I sent a text, and then I got a call back within a few seconds. Lady said, come on by and pick it up. I said, terrific. So this is a Poulan 2450 super clean, 2.3 cubic inches. Went and picked it up today, met her and her husband, very nice people. He says that he doesn't use it anymore. It's been sitting around the house. Doesn't want to throw it in the trash, but he knows it's not worth anything, so he said go ahead and take it. I said thank you. Came with a bottle of 2-stroke oil, a wrench, owner's manual, nice case. He did tell me that the handle is broken. Had some duct tape on it, as you can see. And he says the chain should probably be replaced. So I got it home and started taking a look at it. Was able to find a new handle on eBay for about $18 with tax and shipping. And the chain is something that I've dealt with before. I was looking at the bottom of it, and you could see here it's been thrown from the bar, so I suspect that's where all those gouges came from in the teeth. Done this way too many times in my life, unfortunately, and all it takes is a little file and they drop right back in, and the chain's good as new. So I'll take the chain off, the bar off, I'll sharpen the chain, I'll file that. We'll get the new handle in. Let's take the whole thing apart, see if we can't get it cleaned up. It's got a primer bulb. Looks like the fuel line is pretty dry rotted and cracked. There's the fuel filter. And it's hard to see, but you can actually see the retaining clip for the gas cap is still inside there, so maybe we'll look at getting a new gas cap. I don't know. I don't think we can put that back in there, but we know what parts we need. And let's see if we can bring this thing back to life. Okay, we're now back in the shop. Let's take this thing apart. Let's get the plastic off the top, take a look at the air cleaner. I guess we'll start there, see what else needs to be done, take a look at the plug, and work our way down. Okay, well, that could probably stand to be replaced. And let's take a look at the spark plug, see how that looks. Actually not too bad, a little bit dirty, but for the most part it's okay. Let's see if we can't get it cleaned up just for the time being. One of the things I invested in a long time ago was a universal air cleaning element. I think it's like 12 inches by 16 inches. So something like this that you have to buy or have to clean, you can get a whole bunch of this and get a ton of filters out of one. So what I'll do is I'll put this over top of it, and then I'll trace out the outline, and then I'll cut it with scissors, and I have a brand new air cleaner. I think I've used the one at least 5 times already, especially if you have something that they don't make anymore. So we'll trace this out, we'll cut it, have a brand new air cleaner. So we have the outline cut out for the new filter. This filter is maybe, I don't know, just a hair thicker than the replacement one, but I think we'll be okay. We'll cut this out, we'll see how it fits. But let's go back to actual saw itself. I know we looked and the fuel line needed to be replaced, so let's start pulling pieces off and see if we can't pull a new one through. Here's the inside of the recoil starter. Pretty good amount of caked on oil and dust. This looks about what you'd expect. Not too bad. We're definitely gonna clean all that up. You see the fuel line on the primer bulb, but not the one that goes in the... Oh, there it is. Right there. So let's take off this piece to the carb, and I think, oh, just broke that off. Yeah, we definitely need a new one. And here's the old brittle fuel line. I'm sure there was a lot of alcohol in the gasoline that was being used. Not anymore. But it comes off the side of the carb, and then it goes down into that hole right there in the middle. So I have some new fuel line, fuel filter. Let's see if I can get that thing to fit down in there. Should be interesting. Never put a fuel line in like this before with such close tolerances, and tried to cut it, put a little bit of a flange on it so I could get it down in there, and that didn't work. So I have another idea I'm going to try. Actually going to maybe split it right down the middle. And get one in, and then try to drag it from inside the gas tank. I think I can reach up in there. Let's see if this little bit here will give me enough to work with. So here's what we got. I cut just a little more off of the side, made it a little bit thinner, and I got it down in there. I don't know if you can see it hanging inside, but I think I can reach up with a pair of pliers and pull it down. Alright, so we have it in. Ooh. I'm pulling on it, but it's just kind of stretching. I have to push it and pull it. So that worked. I got the fuel line in, I'm going to cut off the area that I spliced and pop in the fuel filter. I'll cut this and put on the filter. Hopefully. All right, after a little bit of a battle, we got that all the way on. It's not damaged or anything, so it'll float around in there real nice. I think that should be enough length. Maybe I'll pull just a little bit out, but that should be good. And all we got to do is run this up to the carb. Well, here's what came out of the fuel tank when I shook it. Oh, a piece of the gas line that broke off. It's the fuel cap. This, that, and then I was able to pull that out as well. So let's see if we can squeeze this all back together. I think that's gonna go. I think. This needs to go on first. Looks like it's a valve, one-way valve. Squeeze it opens. Let go, it closes. Stuff that in there. That's what locks it. Imagine that will go over top of it. And we can push down on that. And that baby's on there good. Success! Got it back together. Well, the diameter of that new hose is identical to what was on there before, but I have no idea how they got a flare on it. So I took this hook, trying to stretch it out a little bit, a little butane torch, seeing if we can't increase the OD to go over that, see if that'll do it. All right, the fuel line is on. It was heated and stretched, and it is on there good. The air filter has been cut out. Pretty nice replica. Fits very well. Look at that. Like a glove. So let's button everything back up. See how it goes. There's the fuel filter in there. I don't know if you can see it. But we're in business now. All right, got a full tank of fuel. Hope the primer bulb. That's not good. Well, primer bulb doesn't work. So it looks like there's a little bit of standing fuel at the bottom here, but I don't know if I have a leaking line or when I push on that, I think I just overpressurized it. Watch what happens when I push on this. So when I push on it, it is pushing fuel into the carb. Not a lot, but usually would expect that to fill, but I don't know why if it's leaking, but watch what happens here. Yeah. Pressurizes the gas tank. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Maybe it is, I don't know. But let's get it back together. I'm going to pull the chain off and let's see if it runs like that. Maybe we don't even have to prime it. Okay, so I got the saw back together for the most part. Still haven't cleaned it. Have the chain off since the chain has to be cleaned up still, but let's yeah, like I said, I don't understand that primer bulb, why that does that, but I don't know. Let's see if we can start it without it. Switch on, choke out. Good sign. Well, I'm just going to try the path of least resistance first and put some carbon choke cleaner in here. See if that helps loosen up anything that could be in there. I don't want to button this back up without getting the primer bulb working, so I took the air box off. That just basically slid out of this track onto that cable and that can just slide back in. So if I pull the carb off, yeah, there's the fuel line. Oh, that's the problem. Looks like the primer only has one line on it. So there's the other half of the primer bulb. I don't know where that's supposed to go. Well, let's take this off and try to dig a little deeper. I'm going to take a number 2 Phillips and pull the primer bulb off. Oh. Well, now that's broken. Looks like we're going to be replacing all the, oh, look at that. Just crumbled. Time to replace all the lines. So that one back here looks like a much bigger line. Look at all that gas that's laying in there. Looks like a much bigger line. And then on the other side of the carb, you can see how that's cracked off. So, looks like we need to get this big side, which was like that, to run down there, and then the small one to run to the other side of the carb. And it probably wasn't working because there's probably a huge vacuum leak, if I had to guess. That's why it would idle. But when you squeeze the trigger, it would just stall right out. So let's pour this gasoline out of here, get those bits of fuel line out, and see if we can run some new stuff. Well, the fun development is the fuel line for the one side of the primer bulb has broken off into the housing. I'm going to try to see if I can't just push it through into the gas tank and then shake it out. Okay, here we go. Yep. I don't know where it went, but it went somewhere. Perfect. Empty hole. That's why you do not use ethanol gas or 10% ethanol gas in any small power equipment. That. Now here is the part of the fuel line that I took off. Let's see if I can get it out. Oh, there it is. Ah, I see what that is. Interesting. So this must go down. There's something else connected to that. I sure hope not, but I could probably stuff this right back down inside of there and then use the little line to hook up onto that.